talk about romance. Coming up next, a creative proposal turns into an actual very scary situation for one Midlands couple as their hot air balloon has to make an emergency landing. We are going to talk to the soon-to-be groom. All right, welcome back. You know we're suckers for romance here at Friends at 5. And sometimes even the best laid plans don't end how we wish they would.
Trey Antley, good to see you, buddy. You are, in my opinion, today, king of romance.
You are. Thank you for being with us.
Had a very unique way that you wanted to propose to your fiance, who is now your fiance, your girlfriend at that time. And it didn't really go quite as you had planned. Tell the folks at home what happened.
Okay, what happened was we took off and
Well, people don't even know what you took off in. We'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
You decided to rent a hot air balloon.
Yeah, we decided because one of the first things we did when we met was we went up on a tethered hot air balloon. And also it was something I used to enjoy watching with my grandmother who recently passed away. So I thought it'd be a nice tribute to her as well. So we took off from a hot air balloon in Lexington, out in the country in a couple's front yard, and they're really nice and let us launch from their front yard. And it was getting late, and we had to land. And when we landed, while I was in the air, I asked her to marry me about 15 minutes before we landed.
And she said?
And she said yes.
Yay, she said yes. And here's some pictures that you took, some beautiful pictures of before the kind of disaster happened.
Yeah.
So after you had this beautiful moment and she said yes and everything was wonderful, what happened?
Well, then we were looking for a place to land, and the wind just wasn't taking us in the right direction, because when you're in a hot air balloon, you can go up and you can go down, and everything else is dependent on the wind. So we finally had a field that we hit. We actually, in the beginning, went a little low and got our feet wet. I think that might be the pond that we ended up getting our feet wet in. But we landed right in this man's field. He came out and told us they had some livestock and it'd be hard to get a vehicle back there to take the hot air balloon, so we had to take off again. But we had wasted a lot of time landing there, and so it was getting dark. He couldn't fly in the dark. Then we went over a housing development and we couldn't land there. And then we were going to try to hit the front yard of a house, but they had power lines, and so we were afraid that we might hit those. And so our next option was the highway, and then on the other side of the highway it was just trees. And the sunset was at 8:08, and this was already after 8 o'clock, so we had to go down. But luckily there were some volunteer firefighters who had already arrived on the scene, and they went ahead and stopped traffic for us and helped us land safely. By the end of it, there were 3 or 4 police cars, 2 fire trucks, tons of volunteer firefighters and bystanders. We also had 2 guys that really helped out a lot too with getting the balloon out of the highway.
That is an incredible story. Your hot air balloon pilot, Captain Telegram.
Yes, that's right.
Sounds like he's a pretty skilled pilot.
Yeah, he did an excellent job. I think some people might be critical of it, but when you're in the balloon, you can only control so much, and he didn't want to land in the highway, but he put our safety first and knew that that was our last option.
What was going through your mind? I mean, we saw those pictures of the houses, and you're obviously from that picture very close to those houses, and you're seeing that there's houses everywhere and there's trees everywhere. What was going through your mind?
Well, I was really confident in the pilot. I knew that he was very insistent in the very beginning that he wasn't going to be one of those pilots you read about in the news or hear about in the news, which is ironic, but he wanted the weather to be perfect. We waited until the last minute. We were calling the National Weather Service up to the last minute, and so I was very confident in him, and he did an excellent job landing us the first time and the second time.
If you had to do it all over again, would you propose the same way?
I would. I wouldn't want to change anything. I like her answers.
The good news is, though, after this, the wedding will be a piece of cake.
Yes, that's right.
Nothing bad can happen. The wedding will be all downhill from here.
That's
well, we are very glad that you landed safely. We're very glad that she she said yes.
Yes. Have you guys decided on a date?
Right now we're thinking about July 21st of 2012, so next year.
Wonderful. And tell the folks at home why your lovely fiance is not with us today, because they may be confused, like, okay, did she change her mind?
She's actually in dental school at UNC, and so their classes started yesterday for their summer session, so she couldn't make it.
All right, Trey, congratulations
Well, thank you
to
so much,
both.
and thank you to everyone who, I want to thank everyone who helped us out
The
that
rescuers
day.
did a wonderful job
The police, the
stopping traffic.
firefighters, and the bystanders that helped us out.
And if you want to send us wedding pictures, we're fine with that.
We'd love to use those, too.
Sounds great.
All right, stay with us. More Friends at 5 coming up after the break.